Well, welcome back. It's another Blue Glove edition of Boomer Baseball. And today we have, for funsies, 2 more boxes of Donruss from the 90s. Now, we're not necessarily here for Dave Justice and Rhino, and we're definitely not concerned about winning over $2 million in instant prizes. And we're certainly not going to bother blinging out our wall with the Willie Stargell puzzle. That's not what we're here for. We're actually hunting for the Elite Series, which you'd think they would have advertised right here. First ever major chase set, the Elite Series. You'd think they'd put that right on the front. But they didn't. And it makes you wonder why. It seems like a missed opportunity, right? I mean, if you look at the side of the box, all they're really boasting is exclusive Willie Stargell puzzle, which isn't really turning heads, and then rated rookies and Diamond Kings, which, was cool. That's good for the time. But, these Elite Series cards, most of them are limited to 10,000. That's right, 10K. So nowadays, if you're buying, modern baseball, and you're down at your local card shop and you open like some hobby boosters or hobby packs or whatever, you open like a blaster box at the Target or whatever, and you tell your buddy, I pulled a numbered card. And he'd be like, cool, man. Like, what'd you get? Like a 1 of 1? You get like a superfractor? Did you get like a 1 of 10? 1 of 50, 1 of 100? Like, what is it, right? Be like, no, man. I got a card and it's 1 of 10,000, bud. 10,000. And I think you just see it, like your friend's backhand go whoosh, and then your baseball cap would into the parking lot, and then you'd hold your face and go like, what the hell? And they'd be like, yeah, why you waste my time, bro? Why you waste my time with that? 1 of 10,000? Are you kidding me? That's like a base card, right? Like nowadays, like that's some worthless stuff. But back in these days, what you got to realize is they overproduced the heck out of these things. And before the internet, I don't think anybody really understood that. But it's around a little bit after this time, with comic books and baseball cards and all sorts of other collectibles, people started to realize how many that were out there, because all of a sudden nobody wanted them, and things that were worth $20, $30 all of a sudden, yeah, the price guide says it's $20, $30, or the Overstreet comic book price guide says it's worth $20, $30. I'm looking at you, Spawn number 1 or Spawn number 5, the Violator. All of a sudden nobody wants it. They have 5 already and they can't sell them, and they got 10 in the back that they don't tell you about. So that's kind of what happened with this stuff. Is I think they just overproduced it. They really, really did. Kind of killed the value. I mean, these boxes today are only like $20. Excuse me, like $25, somewhere around there. I mean, it's not bad for a 30-something-year-old product, right? So we're gonna dig in. I mean, honestly, you could probably just shift the stack like this and just see what you're up against, but we'll go through it for fun. Canseco, Clark, DeShields, Captain, Eric Gunderson. So we'll just kind of go through some of these cards. I do need some of these for my PC. If you don't know, if you haven't watched this channel before, I'm putting together my childhood set of nonsense wax cards, and then good stuff from the 60s and 70s. So that's what I'm up to. So a lot of this stuff, even though it's pretty obsolete and kind of like derelict, I'm collecting them because it was what we had when we were young in the 90s, Erickson? Oh, rookie card. Okay. Oh, look at its insert. Just kidding. Why was it backwards? That was weird. Kind of threw me off for a minute. Thought I got a hit. Yeah, I bet you. Oh, geez, look at. That freaked me out too. Look at Ryan Sandberg. Was that an elite card? No. Darn it. Playing with my emotions. Donruss, Barry Larkin, Barry Bonds, Greenwell. Rest in peace to Mike Greenwell. Pretty sad. He passed away. He was he had cancer of some sort. Can't recall. Everybody seemed to like Mike Greenwell. I'm not an East Coast guy, but I liked Mike Greenwell. I don't know. Guess he just played really well and seemed like a decent person. I don't know him personally. Another Dave Justice. Another Erickson rookie. Scott Erickson was a big prospect back then. I don't think he had too bad of a career. I just don't think he became the big deal he was supposed to be. I mean, he was no Todd Van Poppel. I think Todd Van Poppel just didn't play. He was a big deal too, but I don't think he actually ever really had a career. But I'm pretty sure Scott Erickson actually played ball for a while. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure he did. If my Wikipedia memory is correct. Boy, look at that. The redundancy is real on this. Oh, Frank Thomas, man, that's cool. Yeah, I think I do have a lot of this already, but whatever odds and ends I might be missing will get flushed out today. And at least at the end of the day, look at another Frank Thomas. How fantastic. That's good. That's the kind of redundancy you like to see in life, you know? At least at the end of the day, we'll have taken a couple of these out of circulation, which will be nice. 2 less Donruss boxes vexing the world. All right, let's see. And if we're lucky, we'll get something cool. I'm not holding my breath though. I am not gonna hold my breath because the chances are not likely. You know, I think this stuff is like, I think we tried to do the math on this. I feel like you get 1 or 2, like one elite per case, and they made 10,000 of each card. Like, how many cases would you have to produce to make that a reality, you know? The number starts to get unquantifiable, you know? Like, the number gets out of control real quick. I don't know, that was my basic math skills in action, so I'm not really sure if that's correct, but from what I've seen, I think it's like 1 per case, and a case I think is like 12 boxes. So if there's 10,000 of each player, and there's like, I think there was like 10 or 20 players, 15 players, something like that. So you'd think that, you know, the overall case number would have to be kind of ridiculous to make that pull rate a reality, you know. I'm not necessarily 100% sure that is the actual pull rate. I did open half a case of the Series 1 when I was a kid and went into debt on that exchange because I thought, well, I'll definitely hit 1 or 2 of them and, you know, 6 boxes because that's ridiculous, right? And I had a friend, he was the magazine, baseball card, comic book dude. He ordered this stuff for like a little mom and pop grocery store where I used to live. Oh, another Frank Thomas. That's nice. That one's all beat up though. And he used to take pity on me and sell me stuff at wholesale, which was great, or just above wholesale. So when this stuff came out and I found out through the old Beckett that there was things called Elite Series, I asked for like a half case and was able to get it at cost, which was cool. Or just above cost, I can't recall. But I went home and I sat down in front of the TV and started opening it. And as the boxes and the got smaller and the stack of paper wrappers got bigger, my anxiety increased exponentially with each pack opening because I was desperate to hit one of those elite cards, you know. And I opened like 6 boxes that day. I think it was 6. And of course I didn't hit any. I've never pack pulled an Elite Series card. I think most people haven't. And then, you know, the funny thing is you can go out there right now and just buy one off the internet. I'll go on eBay, you can get them all day long. You know, they're not that expensive. Like Draybeck, like Doug Draybeck, or, you know, players who are in that caliber. Or, you know, quality players, but maybe not Hall of Famers. You know, you can get those cards fairly cheap. And even some of the bigger names you can get fairly cheap. In, you know, non-graded condition. Brett Maine. I think that's his rookie, right? So, you know, for the price of these 2 boxes, you can just buy an Elite Series card and be done with it, but where's the fun in that? I don't want to just... I want to get the ticket to Willy Wonka's, I want to eat the chocolate first before I get the ticket to Willy Wonka's house, right? I didn't want to just buy a Willy Wonka ticket. It's boring. Where's the fun in that? All right, let's see. Where's the tooth decay, you know? So this is a pretty small set. We see a lot of redundancy so far here. I mean, we're getting a lot of the same characters coming up. Same faces. But, you know, we got 3 Frank Thomases already, which is pretty cool. But the other bummer about opening this stuff back in the day was the single prices were just completely obliterated. Everybody was opening this stuff looking for these chase cards. So these cards had like hardly any value at all. Like if the Beckett said it was worth, you know, like that Frank Thomas, it's like they would probably say it's worth $2.50 or $2 or something. Nobody would pay you $2 for that card. Everyone had like 5 or 6 of them already. They're just opening them to get the Elite Series. And they just lost all their value. There's Bo Jackson. That's cool. I didn't know he was in here. Lee Smith. Darwin. I'm not sure why I'm collecting the MVP cards, but I'm kind of getting into these old stupid subsets. I still hate Diamond Kings though. But speaking of which, we haven't hit a Diamond King yet. What's up with that? There's Chuck Knobloch's rated rookie. Martinez, no. Odeby McDowell, nope. Now let's see. Kirby Puckett, look at that. All the stars are in second series. Roberto Kelly. Dr. Dirt and Mr. Clean. Yeah, if you've ever listened to like Howard Stern with Lenny Dykstra, that's pretty apt. Sad Lemke, Barry Bonds. Golly, everybody's in the second series, huh? Roger Clemens. I think King Griffey's in the first one. They never put Thomas and Griffey in the same set, usually. I think Leaf set that precedent. Don't put all your eggs in one basket or nobody will buy the second basket. Edgar Martinez. Kevin Moss. Yeah, that's Kevin Moss's rookie year. He had a good rookie year. He petered out though. Good rookie year, sophomore slump, and then he just went complete JV. Olerud. Look at that. Move on. I like it. Nice. I like highlight cards. They used to make a set called Highlights. If you're old, you would know about it. These old Donruss little box sets they'd make. They're called Highlights. It was just what happened during the last season of baseball. It's just pretty cool. Wally Whitehurst. What a name. Greg Olson. Vince, the pyrotechnic artist Coleman. Look out, he'll blow your fingers off. If you don't know about that, Vince Coleman, he was at Dodger Stadium. He was leaving and there was autograph seekers, and he decided it'd be funny to throw like an M80 or an M60 or something, some big ass, some big old firework into the crowd of kids. There was a bunch of children, and some young girl got her eye like blown out, or at least severely damaged and burned by his stupid firecracker. And then he apologized in this like non-heartfelt apology about, I'm a nice guy. People are real mad at me right now, but they shouldn't be because I'm nice. It's like, bro, you weren't very nice when you're throwing that firecracker in people's faces. And you're a multi-millionaire sports star. You should know better. It's stupid. I don't have a pot to pee in when it comes to like losing a bunch of money, but I know enough not to throw a firecracker into a group of people unless I want to go to jail or get, sued. Yeah, pretty crazy, man. Some dumb stuff. I'm pretty sure like the firecracker like exploded Conine. I'm pretty sure the firecracker like exploded maybe like through some concrete, some blacktop or something like that. And that's what blasted this poor girl in the eyeball. And then some other people got shrapnel damage or like flash damage from the actual like powder explosion. That was DeShield's rookie. Sutcliffe, Gunderson. All right, we're back at that first sheet we started with. All right, getting there. Psycho again, Clark. The Shields again. The Shields, Captain. That's my Star Trek Delano de Shields reference. You know, Chekhov would say, Shields, Captain, right? So I say Delano de Shields, Captain, right? Okay, anyway. Nolan Ryan, 300 win card. That's cool. Sheffield. I don't know why I'm looking at the back of it. Ricky Henderson. Look at that leg kick. That's nice. Crowd in the plate. All right. 2 more in this box. Another knob block. Chip off the old knob block. I wonder if he had a kid. I would say that all the time. He's just a chip off the old knob block. Ben McDonald. 2nd and 30 or something. All right. Let's see. We got the Leaning Tower of Bulk. Ugh. Bending all the corners. Roberto Alomar. Dave Justice. Erickson again. I'm okay with 1 Erickson. I don't need more than that. All right, that was the first box. Here, let's get these out of the way real quick. Get these all piled up. Nice. Yeah. I wonder if there's something we can be done with all these old cards, you know? Like, I feel bad. I don't want to give them away. There's no value. Like, when I was younger, I used to set, you know, like, take a box like this that had, like, minor stars and, like, mostly junk. And I would just take it to, like, the Goodwill. Because I thought maybe, you know, somebody who doesn't, you know, have cards or whatever would enjoy it. I don't know what that was. I think I just wanted to get rid of crap in my garage. I don't think it was for any kind of like real, you know, I wasn't being a big time, what's the word, philanthropist or like, you know. Anyway, I took the stuff to the Goodwill, and I thought that was a good thing to do. But nowadays, I think that's a bad thing. You don't want to have to like infect people with this crap. I mean, you already know there's nothing in it. Why would you give it to somebody else and make them dig through all your junk for nothing? It just seems like a waste of human energy, you know. So, anyway, I'll just keep this crap in the garage. And actually, I write on the boxes, no stars, no rookies, or no value. I don't want anybody, like, thinking they have to waste their time digging through this stuff. It's just baseball cards, you know. They're just baseball cards. There's nothing. I took everything good out of there. Everything in its good life, I sucked it right out of there. There'd be nothing good here. All right, let's see. Strawberry. Or you can do like most people. Put it on like Facebook or eBay and say like, you know, look how, Luis Gonzalez rookie card. That's cool. You know, I don't know what's in here. It could be, shout out to The Past is Alive. There might be a freaking Michael Jordan rookie for all I know in there. You know, I think that's pretty sad. Where's the Diamond Kings? Anybody notice we haven't pulled a Diamond King? It says right here, exclusive rookie cards, Diamond Kings. I haven't seen any. Cecil Fielder, Chef, Ricky Anderson, Tim Raines. It's called Aldred, and the Hideous Antics of Zane Smith. Shout out to Past is Alive again. One of my favorite channels. All right, let's see. Sandy Alomar. Justice again. Golly. That's a lot of justice. All right, let's see. Maybe we'll get back into some Frank Thomases here. The Shields and George Brett. Cecil Fielder again. Cecil. Henderson again. All right. Oh, darn it. I bent the puzzle. Whoa, check out Jim Gantner. Now, this would be my luck. This would be my foil signed autograph Rhino Elite, and it would be like jacked. Boink. Biggio, he's good. Melito Perez. I don't know if I had that one before. Mike the Marshall. Lee Smith got that one. Kelly got that. Okay. Yeah, usually, you take your time and enjoy the wax pack opening, but this is Donruss, and it's all about the elite. It really is. I mean, I'll pull out some of the... There's Rhino. Pull out some of the good guys. Howard Farmer. That was his rookie. Yeah, he was a big deal. I wonder what happened to him. He looks pretty freaky, though. I don't know if you can see his portrait, but boy, he's got some Herman Munster thing going. He looks... he opened the door, I'd run. Look at that. Golly. I don't like to judge a man. I mean, God knows I look like crap, but... Don't put me on a trading card then. Just kidding. I'm sure he's fine. Just that particular pose, he just looks a little wonky. We all look a little wonky from some angles, right? Just ask Zane Smith, he knows all about it. Another George Brett. Wally Joyner. I think I said Joinger. Will Clark. So, yeah, the search continues. Golly. Yeah, this stuff is real hard to pull, man. These elite cards are very hard to pull. One of these days. I think once I pull one, I'll be done. That'll be it. And then I'll probably be so into the idea that I pulled one, I'll just start buying them and break my moratorium on buying elite cards. It's one of those things I don't want to open up the floodgates. They made a lot of them. And they're kind of overpriced considering how many there are, but there's a mystique. If you grew up in the 90s, there's a mystique to it because it was like the first big chase, man. It was a big deal. And the ones you want to buy are going to be the Nolan Ryan autograph or the Ryan Sandberg autograph. I mean, before his death, the Ryan Sandberg one was still like $600, $700, $800 card raw, let alone graded in a high condition. But since his passing, that's gone up. So I don't know where it's at now. It's probably a $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 card. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it lately. It's a beautiful card, though. The Ryan Sandberg autograph, the what's his name? The Cal Ripken autograph. Those are really, really nice looking cards. That's some good stuff. Another Frank Thomas, Dre Beck. I think I got that already. Eddie Murray, Jack Armstrong. Yeah, it's a good looking card. Sandberg, Ripken, and the Nolan Ryan. Those are all really good cards. The other one that's really kick butt is the Ricky Henderson. That's an awesome looking card too. I think those would be a good investment. I wouldn't mind owning those. Those are cool. That's the good old days before they used stickers for autographs, right? I can't stand sticker autographs, man. I don't know how people do it. I do not know how people do it. I have a lot of hockey. So I put a lot of my money into like hockey rookie cards. And I love the on-card stuff. Like Future Watch stuff, the auto patches, limited to 100. Even the Future Watch, like kind of base card. That those are Nagy's rookie. Those are limited to like 999. So there's quite a few of them out there, right? But in the scheme of things, they're still pretty rare. But at least they're on card, which is cool. You know that the player that you like, he held the card in his hand and actually signed the darn thing. He didn't just sit in a hotel room one day and sign like a pile of stickers on a sheet and then send them to the company and they just decide out of the blue to, print a card and put a sticker on it. It's stupid, right? I just think it's disgusting. I see like Panini cards and it's like, oh, it's a rare card. Like, bro, first of all, you ain't got the license, so you don't have any of the trademarks. The jersey doesn't have the logo on it, which I think is, that's not a proper card. I just don't get into it. And not only that, they use stickers. So it's like, you don't have a license. You make the cards look good. The basketball, is it basketball? The hockey cards look great from like Panini. The baseball stuff, like, ugh, I don't touch that stuff, man. But I'm shocked how many people like that sticker look. It's shocking to me. Like, I would not want to buy those cards. Would not want to own those. It's on card, or I don't need it. I'm stuck up. I'm old-fashioned that way. All right. Well, thank you for hanging out. It's been a fairly long video. So hopefully my idle ramblings kept you company while you did something productive. Kirby Puckett. Oh, look, there's a Ken Griffey MVP. That's our first one in 2 boxes. It's funny how that happens, right? We've seen like every card 10 times, and now we finally saw a new card. It gives me hope for the future that there'll be even more Ken Griffey Juniors. But we shall see. And you're wondering why I keep like Tim McIntosh. Yeah, they were the rookies of the time. They were the rookies of the year. Not the rookie of the year, but they were rookies in that year. So I try to keep a little selection of guys who had decent careers. But I'll just Google it later and see what they did, see what their story was, and make a decision how many pages in my binder I want to waste to rookies who suck, you know, as people say. Same with the MVP stuff too. Like, I'm not going to keep every copy of that, but I do want like a little smattering of goodies, and the rest of it will go into like a long box. And then it'll go in the garage. And the garage looks like that scene out of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Just a bunch of long boxes full of bulk. Bulk and common players. Alright, let's see. Bonds. Lemons. Our good friend, Ozzie Smith. Keep that stack going. See, when you get a stack, look at this. This is the players of consequence. These are the ones I pulled aside. And there's a metric ton of cardboard. I mean, that's like a ridiculous amount of cardboard. So I'm not going to be able to maintain my binder integrity with that many cards. So that'll get whittled down. Just can't make room for all that stuff, you know. Rightly so. I think I have a cold burn in there before. Dennis Cook. Whoa, Dennis Cook. Wait a minute. No. Okay. Just checking. 8 packs. 8 packs to go. Let's see if we'll get an elite card in the finish here. Probably not. Canseco, Clark, the Shields captain. All right. Boy, these designs are hideous too, huh? Golly. It looks like the kind of stuff as a kid in the 90s and 80s you'd like use as a backdrop for like class pictures or something. Or like school pictures. Brady Anderson. It's a metaphor. Metaphor for something, I don't know. Maybe steroid use. All right. Frank Viola. Jim Get Got. One of my favorite jokes. Jim Done Get Got. Or Got Get. Whatever. Olsen again. Jack Morris. Sandberg All-Star. Another Brady. Got crows outside. It's not a full murder of crows. It's just a partial murder. It's attempted murder of crows. Brent Maine. Bo Jackson. Alright. Alright, down to the wire. Come on, Lee. Come on. What's that, Cliff? Baines, no. Rhino, yes. Roberto Alomar, I'll just leave that one in there. Leave one for the guys some other day to wonder about his Hall of Fame selection and his reputation off the field. Moss, Dykstra. George Brett highlight. Nice. All right, 2 packs. Man. I think you can just shift it and you'll know like immediately if you got something. Alrighty. All right, last one. Here we go. Last pack, magic. Here we go. Oh my God, we got a Darwin. Yeah. I'm gonna retire. No, that's it. That's how the balls bounce, right? Aaron? See, that's how that's how it rolls, man. We tried. I mean, we gave it a good go. So that's all you can do in life. Sometimes is just keep opening boxes of junk wax until you hit a card that's worth like half the price you paid for the boxes. You know, that's how it works. All right, thanks for joining me, and we'll catch you next time.